Alright, next on E3 was a surprisingly good conference. Like, wow! Square Enix. Most of the time, their conferences, they have maybe one or two good things announced, and most of the time, they are just snooze fests. This one was good. Granted, I'm only really going to talk about 3 games, but I will, give the benefit of the doubt and mention some other stuff. So, before I go into those 3 games, let's see. Life is Strange 2. Never played the first one, heard good things about it. I don't know why, wait, isn't the second one out? Why they, whatever. So, Life is Strange 2, hear good things about it. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered. Never played it, but good for them. Octopath Traveler, heard great things about it. I hear it's a great return to form and a good game. And it's getting ported to the PC. Dragon Quest Builders 2. Never into Dragon Quest, which I guess, excludes Dragon Quest 9, but I was never into Dragon Quest, didn't even bother with Builders. But hey, sequel. And, Dragon Quest 9 is also now getting, I think that's getting a port. But I hear that game's fantastic, so that's good. Indie Showcase, an expansion for Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 14 is interesting. It's just one of those things where it's like, I get it's an online thing, but God, online only always just pisses me off so much. But I mean, it looks cool. It looks cool. It makes me consider, playing 14. I just don't really want to. There's more of Oninaki. That's good because Oninaki is a game that looks interesting to me. I might pick it up. Wish they show a little more info, but I guess it's not the main appeal. Speaking of main appeals, where the hell was Babylon's Fall? It's the new collaboration between Square and Platinum that they teased last year. Where is it? I'm guessing it's got to still be in early stage of development because Platinum's making like so many games in the same time right now. Like they're making Babylon's Fall, they're doing Bayonetta 3, possibility of Scalebound again. Those are rumors though. I think there was one other thing or something like that. No Babylon's Fall though, so that's kind of upsetting, but whatever. And there's, I think, going to be a port of Final Fantasy VIII, the most overlooked Final Fantasy of the 3D ones. So, all the Final Fantasy VIII fans, good for you. Alright, let me handle Kingdom Hearts because it's not much, surprisingly. I know, like, all my other ones, I can go on and on about Kingdom Hearts, but the game's out and I have my opinions on it. You can you can listen to my podcast on that. The Kingdom Hearts one's kind of easy to find. So, gameplay-wise, it looks great. I mean, like, we didn't see much. We saw a new possible, oh, great, my computer's freaking out. A new possible, form change. That's cool. Not sure exactly what it is. I'm sure as soon as I'm told, I'll be like, oh, okay, that, yeah. Otherwise, I don't know. But we can play as other characters in the Keyblade Graveyard. That's great, because other than Sora, you had a couple of moments as Riku and one as Aqua. But now we have it in those battles, too, which is great. Which also means we can play as Roxas. And not just Roxas, we can play as Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix boss fight Roxas. Yeah, that boss fight, now that's playable. And that's fucking awesome! God, that's the one thing about Kingdom Hearts always means to come back, is that for the most part, the gameplay is so good. Then there's the problem with the story. Granted, it's a little vague this time, which is a bold move, but it seems like you had young Xehanort, who, by the way, has silver eyes, not yellow, meaning he was not born with yellow eyes, something corrupted him. Looks like he's talking to the Master of Masters with the movement. There's no, like, voices, it was all, like, not subtitles either, but like a bunch of words on screen. I guess that's what subtitles are, but like fancier words than normal. Because I'm guessing the dub hasn't been done yet because it looks like the lip sync is to Japanese. 2 things. So first off was young Xehanort with what seems like the Master of Masters, and I'm guessing how young Xehanort came to realize that he needs to be the darkness to balance the light kind of thing, and he said like the world needs him or something like that, so it's all a Master of Masters' fault, of course. And then the other one was Luxord has suspicions about Xigbar, but decides to play dumb. And then the interesting thing is that Xigbar has suspicions about Luxord, so we might actually get development for Luxord for once. That'd be good because he seems to have a lot more of a role in previous Kingdom Hearts games. You know, the rare ones he's in. But there's not much to talk about. There's the form change. There's the cool new playable characters, even if they're only temporary, and there's some story stuff. I hate that they're doing the J.J. Abrams approach of let's give them a bunch of questions that are really interesting and not answer them. That's what happened in Episode 7 of Star Wars, which Episode 8 failed to capitalize on because Rian Johnson said, fuck those questions. And Episode 9, which should cap off all that, is probably just going to ask more questions, and that's kind of what's happening here. So I guess J.J. Abrams is now directing Kingdom Hearts. No, but it's just like, I get you still want to tease stuff, but stop giving us more questions and give us answers, please. You don't have to answer, well, you probably should answer every single little thing because this game's series is confusing as hell. But you don't have to answer every single little thing, but stop giving us questions and give us answers. Please, please. Okay, so the two big ones. Let's start with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Before I go into anything, I want to buy this game, but I don't think I will, because I want the full game, and this is... People forget, we're not getting the full entire, like, original Final Fantasy VII Remake, all of it now. Well, original Final Fantasy VII Remake, what the hell did I say? The original Final Fantasy VII Remade, all now. It's being split up in parts. I don't know how many parts, I think the rumor was 3. But we're getting it in parts. Granted, each part is supposed to be as long as its own game. Like, each game is its own, like, game, in a way. Just, like, you know, not a full story. I kind of want the full story. I get they do this so it doesn't take as long and people can play it faster and stuff like that. Me, personally, though, I just want the whole game, so I might wait on it. I still hate that people are excited for just a third of a full game, but whatever. That's my biggest gripe. Oh, okay, one of my biggest gripes. The other one is I still hate the voice actor change. We're so used to these other ones. The only voice actor change so far that's like 100% I'm fine with is Aerith, because Mina Suvari can just, oh god. But all the other voices, just like, I'm not saying they're bad, it's just like, oh, Sephiroth is a little, needs work. I'm not saying they're bad, but it's like, we've been so used to these other ones, you can't bring these people who haven't done the original game into the original game. Really? I don't know. I guess Steve Burton just couldn't pull off Cloud's dorkier side. Was it Billingsley? It's really hard to say his name. Barrett's voice actor was maybe a little too calm for what Barrett usually was. Tifa's voice actress was good, but I don't know, I'm still used to Rachel Lee Cook. I swear to God, Vincent Valentine isn't still voiced by Steve Bloom, that's gonna suck. But he's not gonna be in this part. It's gonna be in probably like part 2 of the remake or whatever. And then, you know, story-wise, it looks like there's some additions. Cloud's hallucinating more of Sephiroth, and I don't think that weird ghost vision thing that Cloud sees with Aerith was in the original. I probably shouldn't say this all over the internet, but I never actually played Final Fantasy VII. I've done a lot of research on it, but I've never actually played it. But to my knowledge, there was no scene of Aerith grabbing Cloud and him seeing some kind of spirits or ghosts or whatever those were. So that's probably new. So I do like they're actually making some new additions and not just one-to-one. Oh, yeah, and they show Tifa this time. I'll get into Tifa in a bit. In more ways than one. They showed the gameplay, which definitely does take inspirations from Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 15. But it does seem to have its own things. It has to with the limit breaks. And the ATB bar, which seems to be like your magic bar and your health bar. Not health bar, but like to use items and stuff. It's basically a cap on things, but I'm guessing it fills up frequently enough where it shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, the Kingdom Hearts, Jesus. The Final Fantasy combat is a little Kingdom Heartsy. I think it's a little more mashy because every time they showed the gameplay, it was always just mashing square followed by the occasional other attack. But it seems, I get, like, you know, this isn't some huge, amazing action game, but it's like, can we get more than just square? I mean, you had the triangle thing. I hope they do more, but it's probably different for each character. But can we just get more than square? The game looks great. I think some of the character models need a little more work, especially in the faces. Mostly Cloud and Sephiroth. I think like they nailed the they nailed the girls. I think they did nail the look of their faces. It's just the guys need a little more work. Sephiroth looks off. Same with Cloud. Cloud looks a little off too. Barrett seems fine. Everyone else seems fine with Cloud and Sephiroth. I don't know what's up with that. The game does look great. But yeah, there's some 15 stuff with like tactical mode, which is kind of like freezing it and trying to make it as close to a turn-based game as possible. Um, why am I drawing a blank? I'm so tired. I'm doing this way later than I want to. Like, I guess it doesn't matter people seeing this whenever they want, but I intend these to get out earlier, but because of a mixture of life and other things, it's just a little harder. I think the only thing that's going to be on time is Nintendo, but I'll get to that when I get to that. Yeah, so they had like the tactical thing. They have certain like context sensitive moments, like talking to a character or like wiping webs off your face, which is whatever. You know what? Were the Turks in the Midgar section? Because I didn't see a single Turk. I don't know. Were they something in Midgar? Or was that something a little later on? I also know that doing the Midgar stuff, they're showing not much of it. They're showing basically the bombing mission and like a little after it, which I hope is not the whole game. I hope it is more, but like they're not showing all that much. Granted, it's not coming out until March of 2020, allegedly. But I don't know. You can the way you can switch. First of all, you can play as all you can play all party members, so it's not like Vanilla 15 where you're only Noctis or even post DLC 15 where it's like just a really cumbersome way to switch the characters. You can actually play as the other characters pretty smoothly, which should add to the combat. Cloud's got his sword, Bear's got his gun, Aerith's got her staff, Tifa's got her fists. All what you expect. Tifa is in this. Her design is basically the same as it was originally. They added a few more straps or stuff. I think the biggest thing, ironically, is that Tifa's bust is a little smaller. I think it's more realistically proportioned to where they are still big, but they're not as like over the top goofy big as they used to be. Which, I mean, it's a video game. Who cares? Just do it. But I guess it's a little more realistic. Where like she's tough and she still has it, but it's not as big. But they're still big, so that's fine. I don't really like that they did reduce it, but as long as they still kept it big and didn't make her flat, it's fine. These are my priorities with Final Fantasy. I don't know. I'm a guy. Sue me. They showed the Scorpion boss fight, which is cool. It doesn't look bad, but just like I said, the whole thing that we're waiting for a third of a game. Was there anything else I missed? They showed some of the motorcycle combat, which I'm pretty sure will play into the end of the game, quote unquote, the end of the game. I feel like I'm missing something. Because I just wrote down like general notes of what the game was and maybe one or two things about it. I didn't write down like every detail. But the fact that we actually saw a lot of this, because we had 2015's one, then they scrapped all that. I'm surprised how fast they actually, after scrapping that, I'm surprised how fast they managed to make this. Honestly, it's pretty impressive. I'm hoping they're not overworking their employees, but it's impressive. And it doesn't look good, save a couple things here or there. But I'm gonna keep my eye on it. Still not sure I'm going to buy it, but I'm so happy for everyone else who will finally get to play a third of the game. And then they closed off with Marvel's Avengers, finally. I love this day and age where like those crappy licensed games are just put to mobile and that the good ones are made now. I like that the days of the crappy licensed games are, I wouldn't say they're over, but they're definitely a lot less. Marvel's Avengers. Mixed. Mostly positive thoughts, but mixed. The gameplay is clearly third person, some kind of action, but it looks, I don't know, the camera angles look weird. I guess because it's Crystal Dynamics doing it, which they did the Deus Ex games, I think. And while they had 3D camera moments in that, most of it's a first person, so maybe they're just not used to the 3D cameras yet. Then it could be a completely different team, but I don't know. It's interesting how it's only it's clearly they're taking from the movie, clearly. How they look and the personalities and the main team where it's Cap. The only one who's missing is Hawkeye. Basically the original Avengers team, but Hawkeye's missing for some reason. But yeah, Cap, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow. No Nick Fury at all, actually. We got like a little tease of Hank Pym, but that's about it. Wow. the gameplay does look alright. We saw a little bit of Iron Man's, which is what you expect. It's the Iron Man games, but good. Saw a little bit of Hulk, which is him destroying things. The tiniest bit of Captain America, which is actually pretty similar to his movie game combat, I think. I wouldn't say it's the same, but a little bit of saw it looks similar. It's an original story. That's good. Something about the face, the characters though look a little off. I think because they're not done yet. It is coming out in May of next year, so they still have time. Something seems off. They're getting their big profile voice actors. They got Nolan North, Troy Baker, Travis Willingham, Laura Bailey, of course, the biggest, the really big ones. So I kind of expected that. Really shell out for the big voice actors. As long as I'm not doing like celebrities just for the sake of celebrities, though. Even Nolan North's a good actor, but I don't think he's really fits as Tony Stark. Same with Troy Baker as Bruce Banner. Travis Willingham has played Thor before, and Laura Bailey's played Black Widow, so they're fine. But I don't know. Nolan North as Tony Stark just doesn't work. It's not what I imagine in my head. For some reason, I imagine Crispin Freeman, mostly because of Ultimate Alliance 2. But I imagine Christmas. I am so tired. Crispin Freeman as Iron Man. That's like the perfect Iron Man voice in my head. Bruce Banner, really anybody, but I guess we didn't hear too much of the Hulk voice. We heard like a quick smash, so I don't know. Troy Baker doesn't seem to fit it, but hopefully we'll see more heroes. I'm hoping it's not just this amount. Whether they're playable or not, it's a different story, but I hope we do see more heroes. The Avengers are. I think Taskmaster was the villain of that trailer, which is interesting. He could. I wouldn't say he's able to defeat the Avengers, but he could outsmart them and like beat them in certain ways. The Avengers are tricked into something, they lose, and then it seems like they're pretty much split up. Apparently, Cap's dead, which that's not going to last. It didn't give us a lot of details, obviously, but something just seems like off. I wouldn't say it's bad, but something seemed off about the game. I don't know what. I don't know if it's just the camera angle being weird that makes me think everything else looks weird, or the gameplay being a little too vague. I don't know exactly. They seem to put more emphasis on the story and the cutscenes and everything because, Western game development, God forbid, focus on the gameplay. It just seems off. I'm still excited for it. I'm also excited for Ultimate Alliance 3, but I'm sure I'll see more of that in Nintendo's thing, hopefully. But I'll have to wait and see. So yeah, Squares wasn't a snore fest for once. It was actually legitimately good, and right now, I think it's winning E3, which is surprising. There's still one more conference left, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Square, way to go. No Babylon's Fall, so obviously worst conference, but no, no, but yeah, that was pretty damn good.